make it bigger and stronger and do it. So it's like that's where we're problem, right, that we're dealing with. It's like we got all this, like, what our ideals are supposed to be, but when it comes down to it, not so much on the back end. So it's like, so that feels like sometimes it's a losing battle. So let's start talking about some just common things that I think that we can fix now. And so that's what this is mostly going to be about. One of the main things that I love more than anything else, okay, is employees not empowered or educated to question the unusual. That's amazing. That is so awesome. Everybody's got that, Bob and County. Not paying attention to what's going on. I was on a job at the beginning of this year. It's like, and I was doing this building, the high-rise building. There's only one thing worse than no security. Okay, there's only one thing worse than that, and that is a false sense of security. And it's like, I love robbing office buildings because it's so hard to get to the lobby. Through the lobby security, they got guards. It's like, I've got to do this. I literally, on this occasion, it's like on the second day of the engagement, I got in with a printout of what the visitor badge looked like. It's like, it was awesome. So it was like the paper. It was folding a little bit. Theirs was like on straight carpet. Didn't matter. So I'm up there in this office, and I've got a USB Ninja, or also like a USB cable coming out too, which is really cool. And what I had, it looks like an iPhone charging cable. And I went up to people, and I legit said, I'm here with the IT people to make sure that you're not charging your phone on the computer. You got to charge it on the line or by power outlet. So you should keep your policy. So I got to plug this in and test it real quick. I do not have a phone attached to this cable. So, and I'm trying to get caught. So I plug this in to their computer. Then, I could have done this in my pocket, but, YOLO. I pull out the detonator. It's not really called a detonator, but it sounds cool when I say detonator. It's like, so I pull out this detonator with an antenna, little box, got a little blinky little light on it. Totally not to get you AF at all. And it's like, and then I go and I push the button, boop. It doesn't go boop. But it's so boop. And all of a sudden, Notepad pops up on their screen, and it types, test. Thank you, test succeeded, completed successfully. Thank you for your cooperation. Smiley emoji. 8 machines in the same section let me do that. I mean, after the first guy, he's like, oh, there's nothing attached to this cable. And then I did to all the others. I go back, because like I said, I'm not red team. I do security awareness engagement. After I I'm the inoculation before the real bad guy shows up. And every single one of them was like, that wasn't weird. You think? Just a little bit? I mean, okay, I admit, spidey senses could possibly not be possible, it's not like, it's like we're all not Spider-Man, we don't have any senses. Like, no matter how many spiders I fight after, putting the random stuff on, it doesn't work. But still, you should know that could be a little sketchy, it's like, there's no, so it works. Is it their fault? No, I really don't think so. It's like, you would like to make fun of them and go like, oh yeah, it's like, I can't believe they did that. But do we tell them to question anything? And this one is like, I don't want to read down the food, December 7th. have to teach your employees to suspect something unusual and question it, and not just walk it away, not just think it away, not just talk it away, not just assume that it's not going to be bad. That's up to you to give them that kind of information, because human nature is always going to be, oh, it's probably something okay. Like that cable is testing, like this guy might be like I think I mean, okay, right? It's like, so it's like you got working with it. So that's what you have to do. One of the things I hate so much is public spaces that are well monitored and highly visible. So I Googled, what the CIA lobby looks like, because let's face it, honestly, I'm never going to go into some lobby of the CIA back door with a black bag over my head. So I'm expecting that any day, especially after the stories I tell. Because one of the stories I tell is like, is this what the CIA headquarters looks like? Thank you. I needed to spot the pen. So awesome. I appreciate that. It's always a game I play, and I always like to apologize to the beds in the room, because I use a lot of different agencies for my examples of bad security mistakes. Not because I'm trying to pick on the U.S. government. It's just they use bad security practices. So that's not me. But I really hate it's like well monitored, because I like to loiter. It's like, trust me, it's like just become a teenager. I loiter a lot. It's like, so I like to loiter, and I love lobbies that have Starbucks. It's like at the bathrooms outside the lobby, so I can hang out and show a pattern that would be there. But I was in Russia, in Moscow. If you wonder why I'm on this, I'm ready to be, CIA. So I was in Moscow last year, and I was invited to go check out the headquarters. Well, I'm a pretty friendly, legit, like metal in German, nice guy, pretty funny. And it's like, on another list. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll show up. And so I went to their headquarters, and I went to the lobby, and I'm not being paid to hack or break in or anything, but God, Jesus Christ, like I always go in, wherever I go, I always go like, I always check the security cameras, always like to loiter a little bit, like, also like to find the exits, because in case zombies or maybe some guys know where to get out. So I always go in, no matter where I go. It's like I always go in and I just try to face the place. That's not sketchy at all. It's like, so I go do that. So I go do that here. I'm in my hoodie, my backpack, and I'm not subtle when I come in, okay? When I'm not on the job, I'm not subtle at all. I got that bag, it's like mother, it's like, hello, I'm here. And I'd go to sit down on the nice, wonderful couch that they provided. And before my butt touched leather, this guy who was monitoring the gate door, it's like the employee access, comes over. He is like 6 foot tall, something. It's like built like, whatever Russian thing is called. It's like, he comes right over to them. I mean, he's wearing a shirt that is either 2 times as too small or muscles 4 times too big. I don't know which. And he comes over to me and he just goes and says, it's like, I don't know Russian. I'm Texan. That's a worse accent already. So it's like excuse me, comrade. It's like, how can I help you? It's like, you need assistance. It's like, I'm registered for it. It's like, it's 100% polite. 100% direct. I mean, let's face it, you're that side. It's not really costing you anything. It's like, he could have said, look, mother, you dirty man. I'll be like, you're right, sir. It's like, I agree with that assessment. What do you need me to do? So, here's flashbacks. So, he goes and he says, like, and he assisted me to the door, to the registration. He made sure that I was supposed to be there. He made sure that I was valid and I had a responsibility. And guess what? I got to sit on the couch. Come over. I just stayed on that couch. I was waiting. It's like, this is me being a good boy. I ain't looking for nothing. So that's the way it's supposed to be done. Don't have your lobbies making it capable for people just to loiter in case you're like, because I want to loiter and I want to find out where your security guards are, how they do the patrol, what the heavy flows are when people come in certain times during the day. I don't come back supposed to be there for them to wait patiently for someone to come up and get them to where they're supposed to go. That's all a lobby is supposed to be for. It's not supposed to be, it shouldn't be a meeting place. It shouldn't be a open air station for the slow and quick cool. It's not good. It's like, so do that. So, the thing that I love, one of the things I love, and I'm sorry, it's like, is there anybody from the TSA? I'm joking. The TSA doesn't make security. But it's like, but so whenever I talk about mass security, TSA is going to be mentioned in here at some point, because they are really bad at security. So this is no egress filtering or internal monitoring. And I actually had this happen yesterday coming to Derby Con. So I've got pre-check, okay, because I got tired of people, bumping me up without me asking first. And so I decided to go get pre-check. So I think, it's going to be a little easier. I'm going to go into the naked machine. And I tell people when they ask me, I would always opt out. And it always, they feel like they're offended on me. Why are you opting out? And I've literally said to their face before, so I don't say nothing behind your back. I'm not going to say it in your face. Like I've literally said to their face before, because I want the manual violation, right? It's not the automatic version. Thank you very much. And that didn't go over well, but still, I got pre-check somehow. TSA, it's like they went and I did the pre-check, and then the buzzer sounded, and I'm like, oh, here we go again. And they're like, oh, this is on electronic. We have to scan your we have to do a secondary electronics. I've got a lot of electronics in my bag. This is a little bitty bag, a lot of electronics, okay? It's not called a bag holding for nothing, right? So and I have enough to take down a plane in there too, looks like we don't talk about that. It's like, oops. So I'm like, sure, let's go. You know what they do? The guy comes over to me, he's like, I gotta swap your phone. I'm like torn now. I'm conflicted. Because one point of me goes, I want to get to my plane. The other side wants to go, you're doing a bad job at security theater even. We all know this is security theater. But this is a really poor performance right now. And I'm not trying to be a critic or anything, but you're bad and you should feel bad about this. You should be opening up my bag and looking at all my electronics. Open them. Explode. There's a lot to look through. It's going to take us about 10 minutes. Oh, you're right. I'll shut up. It's like, I won't say anything. So I kept my mouth shut as they swabbed my phone. And I feel so much better getting on my plane now because security. Right? That's awesome. So, why aren't we actually monitoring and actually doing a good job of actually trying to detect threats? And talk about egress filtering. How many people have rules saying that at the end of your firewall, you got the any block rule, right? You don't have to raise your hand because everybody has that or you'll make me cry, okay? The very last rule on your firewall is always any block. It's like, how many people have at their internal policies on their firewall with an any block internally? So if it's not allowed explicitly to go out, it can't. So many people have they have an any allow from internal to outside. What the actual F is that for? Sony lost 1.8 terabytes of data leaving their network without a whimper. It's like, trust me, it came later. But it's like, not at first. They let that happen. No one checked, like, hey, why is 1.8 terabytes of our internal proprietary data going to Paraguay? I mean, networking should have at least contacted them after they need to increase the bandwidth. Someone should have noticed that. Someone should have been monitoring that outbound connection. One of my biggest, bestest payloads on my Bash Bunny and Rubber Ducky is very simple. It opens up a command prompt, it telnets to tal.blinkylights.nl, and it runs ASCII Star Wars. That's awesome and horrible at the same time. Because really, think about this, does Bob in accounting really need to have telnet access to the Netherlands? I am tired of seeing ASCII Star Wars on, no offense to Bob for accounting people, but I'm tired of seeing ASCII Wars on their computers. It's like I don't get the whole Trek Star Wars thing. You know, it's like I'm you know, but it's like enlightenment. So there we go. That's the problem. You need to be monitoring what's going out of your network, not just how many people are actually hacking into your network nowadays. For real. Seriously. They're compromising your inclines through a drive-by download, USB action, or a click on a link, or something that you told them to download, and they downloaded it so they could get, you know, the dancing hamsters. They're your endpoint. So they're now just reaching back to the command and control and getting the rest of it, and they're doing that on a secure effing connection. So maybe you shouldn't be having HTTPS traffic, you know, of over 5 megs going to Paraguay. No, it's like, but still, that's something you should look at. One of the things I do hate a lot is dual-factor authentication. That's hard to break into. It's like, you know, no one wants. I mean, it depends if you're using SMS. You're not going to go to that. And bad, tragic, sad. But still, dual-factor authentication. Are you making sure that your employees are using it? It's like one of the things that I like is going into banks, and they have dual-factor authentication on their computers. By golly, you're doing over $100,000 wire transfer. You need this USB token. You can't just put in a wire transfer. That executive has to have their signed token to do that. And I'm like, you're right. That's awesome. Why is it always plugged into their laptop every time I go by? And if it's not in their laptop, I promise you, don't worry. Open the top. And they're like, Jason, it's in this drawer. You're going to this drawer. I'm like, bad guy. I've heard a lot of people. It's like, you know, it's one of the things you do. It's like, so what are you going to, what's going to happen? So it's like, you find a lot of cool stuff there. So I do that. It's like, that's a problem. It's like, if you're going to have dual-factor authentication, you got to make sure that they're doing it. It's like, how many people have dual-factor authentication for their badges? I got the boss clone. That's like 3 feet of ponage right there from the RFID badge. I just cloned and automatically created a new badge from 3 feet away. So I've got your badge. You have a keypad that I also have to input with that badge. And if you have the keypad, come on, don't be skippy. Or you do, thank you. But don't be skippy, because if I see the 2 worn out, I see a 4 worn out, I see a 3 worn out, and then a 1 worn out. It's like, you know, replace the keypads, mix the number up. 4 code, 4 digits. That's 21 guesses. 4-digit code is 21 guesses on a keypad. Do you block them out after 3? Probably not. Like, all I need is 21. It's like I'm really bad at that gambling. So like, I don't gamble with my money in my life. It's like things that I'm just really bad at. It's not. So it's like I usually need the 21st one to actually get the right code. And so that's what usually happens. So make sure you're doing dual factor, and make sure you're not making it easy for the person to actually guess the code. I mean, if you got the budget to do that really cool fancy one, the numbers change all the way. That's awesome. It's like she probably does. But it's like, but maybe not everybody has that kind of budget to have those kind of things. I didn't forget. No, it's like, so let's talk about another thing that I love people do. I'm sorry, I'm not saying you do. It's like, if you're like me, it's like some of my friends probably have been there, but probably under less pleasant circumstances, and they got to live with a lot of it. So I don't judge. But let's talk about bad policies, or bad procedures. And it's like the procedures aren't bad, but how we force them to let them happen. This is a great story. Well, actually, it's a horrible story, but you know, I was a bad guy. This is a horrible story. An attacker kidnapped a woman and drove her onto a U.S. Air Force base in Nevada. Everybody's talking about storming the Area 51 like it's a hard thing to do. This mother drove onto the base with a kidnap victim. You know how they found him? She got away from him. She got them out of there. She rescued herself because obviously the Air Force wasn't doing it. It's like rescued herself, got to the one of the guards at the Air Force base, said, "Help! I'm being kidnapped." And their first question, I'm pretty sure I wasn't there, but I'm pretty sure was, "How did you get here?" It's like, "Who are you?" It's like he just drove on. We can all agree the procedures may not have been done right. Some procedures may be broken. And if you think this is the first time the Air Force bases like are incredible, I mean, I love seeing these all these movies where you see like how hard to get on an Air Force base. Back in the 60s, in the height of the Cold War, a Russian spy got onto a U.S. Air Force base in Germany. He walked up to a U.S. jet fighter, took off one of the newer missiles, put it in a wheelbarrow, and I hope he didn't bring it. I hope he stole the wheelbarrow too. Just because. I just wanted that. So he took it into a wheelbarrow. Hopefully they arrested him for the Grand Theft barrel, but I don't know. But it's like, so he put it in a wheelbarrow, wheeled it out to his car, and it's like, puts it into the back car. Of his car, puts a red flag on the tip of the missile because it's sticking out of the car. And German laws are German laws. You don't have to put those, okay? It's like, put the red flag on the tip of the missile and drove it back to his apartment. He disassembled the missile in his apartment and shipped it piece by piece back to the homeland. Successfully. It's like he sent it through German post. They're very efficient, so it's like it all got there. That was awesomely horrible, but it's like, so procedures, it doesn't matter what you write down. It doesn't matter what procedures you put in. If your employees don't think it pertains to them, if they don't think that it impacts their job in a negative way if they don't do it, they won't. How many people can get fired at your business because they clicked on a suspicious link and clicked on an email or a phishing email and they compromised the company? How many people in your facility know that they could actually lose their job for that? Not many. But we still allow truck drivers to know that if they get in an accident, they can be fired. If you go to a porn site, you can be fired. You can cost the company $300 million in damages, Target, and not be fired. Unless you're the CIO. Usually those guys are first to go. But it's like, but no. It's like you've got to understand that procedures can't just be in place. They have to be enforced for everybody, from the CEO to the mailroom. Because I promise you, if your executives don't think that it applies to them, everybody they report to doesn't think it applies to them, and then everybody they report to doesn't think it applies to them. So, what's the point to all this? Is it doing the little animated thing yet? There we go. Awesome. It's like new iPad. Who's this? And so that's one of the biggest problems. Is like, this is not just going to be about all the things that I think are doing wrong or that we've done. It's like, what are some of the things that you can take back on Monday or Tuesday? Some of us, need till Wednesday, before we get back and actually, functioning. It's like that you can take back to work and say, are we doing this? Here's some questions that you should be asking. It's like that you need to ask yourself. And one is insider threat. Which one fits the bill? Sorry, government. It's like, but because we always think that it's the one on the left. We all think it's that malicious insider, that traitor, that spy, that person that, bought from accounting because he's just upset and pissed off and he's about to take the customer database and go elsewhere because, I'm taking my marbles and going home kind of thing, right? It's like those are things that we worry about. But come on. You're overlooking one huge, bigger threat than that. Just plain old human stupidity. Look at the one on the right. That's the Department of Homeland Security publishing their TSA keys onto the internet for everybody to see and copy. And if you think that that's not really happening, here's TSA key number 2 that Johnny Christmas was nice enough to lock. It's like Adrian Crenshaw's also has all the sets as well that you can 3D print, download 3D print, and you too can own a pair of the TSA key locks. Does that make you feel more secure when you've got your checked luggage? And yeah, me too. Security theater. So it could be just human stupidity. It could just be an accident. It could just be that they're trying to mean well. I compromised the company before I got into the meeting. You know how? Because I checked Wi-Fi before I went in. And I noticed the Linksys router going like, oh, that's adorable. It turns out one of their employees, it was an executive, was being very unproductive at work. He was being unproductive because he had to go to conference rooms and believe that, I know this is hard to believe, but sometimes even the executives don't think those meetings are really necessary, okay? This could have been an email. It's like, so he goes and he decides, I'm going to fix that. So I'm going to stick this Linksys router into my conference room, plug the internet port into the corporate network, and that way I can have Wi-Fi in the conference room and still answer emails, still do my job, still be effective and proficient while I'm listening to Bob drone on in marketing. It's like, no offense to Bob's. It's like, but yeah, I can do that. And so I was like, when I went in, it's like, well, I'm glad that this scope of agreement already said that I could start today. It's like, because I sort of started probably earlier than you thought. I do that a lot because YOLO. And it's like one of my best two attributes in this job is literally, it's not skill, it's not profession, it's not education, it's poor impulse control and no shame. It's like that is how I do most of my jobs. And so I was like, and here's your readout of some of your servers and some of your other people, and these are some other machines, and these are some things that you may want to look at. And they're like, and it's like, and they found the guy, and he's like an executive, so they can't touch him. But they did explain to them, it's like, no, let's not do this. So sometimes it's well-intentioned mistakes that can be your insider threat. Stop narrowing your focus that it's just going to be malicious activity going on your network. Sometimes it's going to be actual just, oops. What's another kind of insider threat? Sometimes it's the response. This was a horrible example. Okay, so this was where custom border agents patrol, the CBP. Yes, everyone. I threw a little loop in there because I had the guard with the actual had an ID badge, but you still check that badge, okay? It's like I've broken into so many places through the cleaning crew. It's like I usually, when I was a regular employee at a bank, I had some of Skydog's Skynet and Tony Stark employee badges over my badge on either side. To help, block it a little bit. And also just because it looked cool and I wanted people to question me going like, and this is actually a good thing. I went back to that bank just recently got in because I still have a badge. It's like some people just don't learn. And it's like and I got up there and I was working, and one of the employees saw me in the lobby, and I go over there because I'm about to go meet with the CISO, and he comes back. And he's just like, I don't mean to be rude, Jason, but you're Jason. It's like, can I see your badge? Do you actually have a badge? It's like, I don't know how you got in here, but that's not going to stop you. It's like, are you supposed to be here? And I was like, legit, awesome. Yes, here's my badge. It's like I am supposed to be here. It's like because I wasn't wearing it because screw that. It's like here it is. And it's like and he's like okay cool. It's like I mean I could have made one of those. I had copies that I destroyed, but it's like but you checked and that's good. So that's a good thing. So one of the things that we need to start understanding is your employees' social media. Woo, that almost happened. Whoever had 45 minutes in or something like that, you're almost there. It's like so people's social media profiles are their own. Okay, I live tweet my life. Effing, I don't care. It's like I've had my CEO, the CIO of the bank I used to work for. Literally, it was like 5 or 6 years ago. I was in actually it started because I was in a hug war with Dave Kennedy, and Paul.com was our target, or Paul Sidorian from Security Weekly. He was our target of affection. They use that usually. And we were hugging them awkwardly. It's like, because Dave was stealing my awkward hug thing. And I was like, no, Dave, you got the hugs. I make it awkward. And but he started hugging Paul like that. And so finally they topped it with like, they were both topless and hugged. And I was like, challenge accepted. So I'm at DEF CON, and I'm at their booth, and it's like, come on, Paul, this is going to happen. So I take off my shirt. It's like, and I have bad body image issues anyway, but it's like I take off my shirt in the vendor area. Paul takes his shirt off. That mother, he was prepared. He was wearing shorts. I wasn't. I dropped trowel. It's like, took my pants off, and it's like, and then they lowered the banner, the Hack Naked banner, appropriate enough. They lowered the banner to cover our midriffs. And here's these two grown adult, I use that usually men, it's like awkwardly hugging with the banner. I get back from Vegas, first thing the CIO says, Jason, like, yeah, your Twitter picture with that, I mean, is that something you want to have represent? It's like, I mean, you're representing the, like, and I was like, first of all, let me stop you right there, mother. I didn't say that. I was thinking it, though. It's like, and I was like, stop right there. It's like, number one, it's like, that's my personal account. It's going to stay personal. I don't do anything to jeopardize the security of the company. Integrity and, personality and culture, it's like, that's a whole other thing I don't care about. So that's not my issue. Okay, two, I have more followers than your bank does, and so I don't care about that either. So just, sorry, not sorry, next. It's like, I'm not changing the picture. But a lot of employees post too much information that could damage the security of your company. I mean, if you want to know why security people drink, go to Instagram, search hashtag new badge or hashtag new job. I'm actually about to start crying for a second. Okay, sorry. It's like, it's sad. It's sad. It's like, what are your employees giving away? I had an employee on her Facebook profile, and I was not friends with her, and trust me, after this presentation, I was never going to be. It's like on her Facebook profile, she had her phone number and her home address on her public profile in her About section that was freely available to the world. Very next picture on the slide, on the next slide, was a picture of her house. I'm not creepy. Well, I am creepy, but I'm not that creepy. It was from Google Street View, okay? It's like I wasn't that dedicated of attacker to prove a point by going to her house and taking a picture or a selfie. That would have been cool, though, now that I think about it. But it probably been a little bit creepier. It's like, don't take selfies in front of targets' houses. But it's like, that's an issue. Just educate your employees on how they're securing their social media profiles. Understand where it impacts them directly, and guess what? They'll take that security consciousness to work with them. They're never going to care about your data, but at least they'll start being more security conscious, and when they see something at work, they'll report it. I feel so sorry for the camera guys. I apologize. I just see those guys struggling with it. Where the? So I'm gonna just talk to us. It's like this. It's like everybody on the live stream's like, finally, I don't have to see that. I just try to concentrate on there. So the next thing you do is phishing is one of the leading causes of compromise, but your employees really take it seriously. I mean, seriously. Seriously. Target lost $300 million. And that's not their fault at first. They got pwned by their HVAC provider. You know how they got pwned? I kid you not. I read the story. I don't remember the guy's name because I try to block out traumatic events. It's like, he literally legit said, we got attacked by APT. And I'm like, that's what you tell your shareholders, okay? You know, everybody's getting hit by, everybody's PCI compliant till they're not. It's like, you notice that? The same thing with everybody gets hit by APT. Advanced persistent threats. That sounds scary. Bob in accounting's like, oh, that's bad, It's like, do you know what APT stands for, people? Adequate phishing technique. Done. That's it. They got an email, the mother clicked the link, oops, $300 million later, that was probably a bad idea. Let's not do that. Oh, wait, dancing gerbils? Oh, let me check that out, We need to let employees understand that's one of the most likely ways. I don't care about the network anymore. I legit don't. I don't know. I'm not skilled enough to go and drop a SQL database. I don't know. I mean, I can drop the base, but I can't drop SQL databases. It's like, I don't know how to do that. I just go into your server room and take your SQL server with me home. It's like, it's so much easier. It's like people talking about like, well, you're not that technical, Jason. I love that. And I have hackers come up to me and they DM me and they've said it to my face. They like to insult me that way. They're like, you're not that technical, Jason. Well, you're not very technical. It's like, well, you're not. And I'm like, first, hold on, mother. You don't know what I do in my lab. It's like, it's not all just for shows and a lot of for video games, but still, there's other things. So I don't care what you have to say about that. Second of all, do I really have to be? I walk into a bank and I've literally walked into a bank and stolen a computer without even saying anything to someone. That was not technical at all. But I got more data than you probably did when you tried to go in through the firewall. So F that noise. So don't let anybody say that you're not technical enough to do anything. It's like you're technical as much as you want to be for you to feel that you need what you need to do. It's like don't let anybody around tell you differently because they're full of crap. So the next thing is, do you vet your security systems to make sure they are operating as intended? Another example, NSA, oh, those guys, those pesky rascals. It's like, the NSA, they were like, oops, our bad. It turns out we were collecting more data than we were supposed to. How did that happen? It's like, we don't know. Haven't you ever noticed that one of the biggest things that Facebook and NSA have in common are they always go, and when they make a mistake, it's always because they collected more data, not less. Have you ever got a notice from Facebook going like, I'm sorry, there was a mix-up and we made your account more private than you intended, so you may need to make that more public. No, that's never happened. It's like Instagram has never gone to you and gone, oops, we made all your private accounts even more private. It's like, no, actually that happened the reverse, where they're like, oh, sorry, everybody's public, everybody can see you. You may want to take those pictures down of whatever their person's name is that wasn't supposed to be there at that time in the Bahamas with you. So it's like, yeah, that's an issue. It's like, so that's the same thing. It's like, are we vetting ourselves? Who here puts in a snort install on your network? It's like, snort's still a thing, right? It's like, awesome. Okay, good. It's like, I'm old. So it's like you put a snort install, and then you're done. Whew. Done. Let's run those default signatures, and I'm secure. Oh my God! What are all these noises? What's all this? Oh, I'll just disregard all those. Whew. I got it running. So that makes it PCI compliant, right? It's like, but it's not fine-tuned. It's not going back. Are you going back and checking? Have you actually isolated one of your machines? That's adorable. It's like, well, one of your machines and actually gone and said, let's put ransomware on there and see what it does. Try to call it out. Will our endpoint protection save us? Will our AV save us? It's like, will our firewall save us? Will our segmented network save us? It's like, no. But will it do something? Will it give us an alert? It's like, are you testing your antivirus to make sure it's actually working? That it's actually alerting when you send something, you know what the activity looks like. That's why you have pen tests. Because you want to see what an actual attacker will do, and you want to see what the alerts are, what triggers, what doesn't, what seems suspicious that you now know is definitely suspicious, and what's not. Because another thing I hate, it's like when we talk about the red team, is that these motherfuckers go around, walking around like, oof, I'm on the red team. It's like, look, dude, your only job is to make the blue team better. And if you think that's different, you're wrong. It's like the only reason why the red team is around is to help build defenses. The only reason the red team is there is to make the security better once they leave and find the vulnerabilities and work with the processes. It's like all these people that put these red teamers on pedestals think that they're like, oh, they must know what they're doing. They're red team. F that noise. It's like, thank you. Sorry. Wait till next year's talk. Next year's just straight rant. But it's like, but still, I am tired of it. That's what the red team is about. And that's what you use a red team for. They're not there to break stuff. If they can go in there and break stuff, great. But if they give you a Nessus report, or if they go and tell you, oh yeah, that stuff's really bad, you need to fix that, they've wasted your time and your money. Their only job is to tell you exactly how you can fix it, what the remediations are, how it's supposed to work better, and what things need to be changed to make you more secure. Period. That's all their function is. It's like, I'm gonna, oof, get me riled. It's like I'm working with the small bottles right now. It's like, thank goodness I didn't bring a 2-liter. It's like, what metrics do you have that helps justify your budget and your actions? Spoiler alert, this is an oldie but goodie for me. And I'm like all the way back because it's always going to be good. How many people here are trying to get funding? I mean, seriously, raise your hand. How many people here would like to get more funding from their executives? Oh, wow. That problem hasn't disappeared. Conficker, iHeart, NIMDA, WannaCry, it's like Heartbleed. It's like, that's still around? Yes. Do a better job of letting your executives know what you actually need and what your stuff is doing. We always go to our executives going and saying, hey, it's like there's a really bad thing going on. It's like we're going to need more money this year than last year. And like, well, what happened last year? Oh, you didn't see anything. But it was bad, but we fixed it, so you didn't see anything. And if you give us $2 million more, you won't see anything this year. It's like literally going into a bodega asking for the VIG, going like, got a nice store here. It's like it'd be horrible if something happened to it. That doesn't work. That does not work. Show them metrics. Show them numbers. Give them pie charts. Everybody loves pie. Who doesn't love pie? It's like, give them pie charts. Give them something. We've had this many firewall alerts. We've had this many AV alerts. And there are a lot, and they don't mean anything to them. But it's numbers. It's something they can base it on. And give them real numbers. This is how many machines we have in our network. This is quantifiable data. How many people here know how many machines you have in your network? Don't answer that because that makes me sad too. It's like, but how many machines we have? How many, this is their current patch level. This is how we patch them. Those are metrics you should be using. Give those numbers to your executives. You'll have a better time trying to get a budget. And I have repeatedly said to this talk that it's like some of this stuff is familiar because I have a confession to make this year. It's like, this is like probably my 10th year giving talks. And you got to notice something, okay? I tried to say the same thing for like 10 years. And it's like, I say it different ways, and it's like I try to be funny, but I'm going to always have one common theme. I am always going to talk till, that windmill is gone, and it's never gone. It's like, your users are your best assets. Start effing acting like it and investing in them. Blinky boxes are great. I mean, they got blue ones now. It's like with the blue lights. That's awesome. Invest in your users. Start educating them, getting them involved in your security team. That's where your return on investment is. I'm classy AF. I had the pinky up and everything. So, any questions? I think I got time for one. He's not showing me a number, so I'm going to assume I do because I like to assume things like that. Yes. Who had a question? Oh, someone was just trying to get laid. Did you have a question there? Oh, he's throwing me a pity question like, oh, crap, that guy's like stuck up there. Yes. Yes. Yeah, you can use metrics that you're working with your network team. He asked what kind of metrics you should be using. And your devices, your pretty blinky boxes, create really pretty reports. Start printing those out. It's like, but also add the real stuff, the meat and bones. Like, take an actual inventory of your workstations, figure out what their patch management system is, and putting that in there. It's like how many spam emails that you get caught on the gateway, how many go into the environment, how many antivirus things. So work on that. So, thank you guys. Have a great DerbyCon.